Hi guys, I wanted to talk today about life and journaling your life. And as I said in the first video that was kind of introducing this little mini series, that every life is worth documenting, and it is also worthwhile documenting your life. And there are so many things that happen to us in life. Some's excellent, some's good, some's bad, some's really bad. And it's all of those things that happen to us that make us who we are as a person. Everything that we've been through at any stage of our life, although we try and maybe forget things or put things to rest, it shapes who we are as a person. And you know, those things influence who we are, the way we think, our attitudes, our morals, all of those things. It kind of makes us who we are as a person. And we are constantly growing and evolving and all that sort of stuff. And for me, I find that if I journal about those things, I can look back on them and think about how I've grown as a person or changed, how I've dealt with a situation. As I mentioned in a previous video, crummy stuff happens to people. Bad stuff happens to good people all the time, and it's how you deal with that bad stuff that then influences how happy you are going to be in your life. I've seen quite a lot of bad stuff in my life, both to me personally and also to my close friends and family, and I've seen death, I've seen near death, I've seen cancers and heart attacks and other serious illnesses. I've seen infertility, I've seen stress, I've seen OCD, anxiety, depression, and I'm not going to tell you which ones are me personally. All I will say is that it's more than one of those that's for me personally, and also things that have been my close family, so like my parents, and also close friends. Those things have been around me. And some people sort of say to me in videos, but you're like a really happy, bubbly person. And it's like, well, yes I am, but you know, it's how I've dealt with those bad things that's kind of made me be that bubbly person, because I don't want to dwell on the negative. And I haven't told you these things. I don't want you to comment on this video and feel sorry for me, because I didn't tell you those things for sympathy. So that's not what I've said about those things. It's just a fact of life. These things happen, you know, people get ill, things happen, and accidents happen. And I am very much a believer in my journal and processing those bad things in my journal, because that then helps me to move on. You know, yes, I'm still going to be upset that these things happen to me or to someone else, but I can then move on from that because I've taken it out of here and I've put it in a journal. So I know that it's in that journal that I can go back to anytime I want to. It's not in here so that I'm constantly thinking about it. And that for me has really, 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 really helped. And that is really, really personal, and you know, sharing that with you. I did and ah about sharing, but I think in a lot of ways it's kind of important to know that in the context of journaling and journaling your life, because you are journaling about your life, or I'm trying to encourage you to journal about your life, and that just so happens to be part of my life. And I've been sharing little snippets that I'm comfortable with in my YouTube, you know, over months, and so yeah, I just felt like sort of kind of sharing that with you, and I'm rambling now. So anyway, as I said, bad stuff happens to good people, and just because you had one bad day does not mean you've had a bad life. Yes, I've seen those bad things, but actually I'm 33 years old. Not every single day of my 33 years has been bad. I've had some incredibly good days. I've had some incredibly bad days, but I've had some incredibly good days. And the good days or the okay days outweigh the bad days. So don't let one bad day think that you've had a bad life, because you haven't. And you know, it's just work it out in your head and journal about it. And that's what I do. The journal comes out, and the bad stuff goes in the journal so it can come out of my head, can enable me to get on with being me and being the person that I want to be, because I don't want to be the sort of person who, I don't want to be a glasses half full person. I want to be a glasses half, wrong way around. I don't want to be a glasses half empty person. I want to be a glasses half full person, because I do believe that life is a gift, and every day I wake up and I'm still breathing is a good day. And I say it like that because in my past there was a day when I woke up and I wasn't breathing. So for me, every day that I wake up and I'm breathing is a good day, because I am still on this planet and I've still got a life that I can live. And just this weekend, the weekend before last, I'm forgetting my days. The weekend before last, because last week John and I, we had a week off, and we did various bits and bobs. And the weekend that started that week, we were on our way to Cambridge. We're not that far from Cambridge, but we were on our way to Cambridge. We were going to go out shopping, we were going to go for a meal, and then we were going to go on a punt. And that was the start of our week off. We were on our way to Cambridge and we got a call from John's brother, who was a bit distressed, and we found out that John's parents had been in a car accident. So automatically, we were all, oh God. So his sister was at work, his brother was in London, John's sister-in-law was around, and sort of we were fairly close. So we went to the scene to sort out his parents. Unfortunately, the car was a write-off. They were very, very, very lucky to walk away from that accident, judging by the state of the car. I won't go into any gory details, but suffice it to say, they're very lucky to be alive. And we had to take them to hospital. Well, John ended up staying at the scene and sorting things out there, and I ended up going with my sister-in-law to the hospital. They were both, we had put two of them. One of us went with with mum, and one of us went with dad, and we sorted them all out. And luckily, touch wood, they're fine. They just walked away with some cuts and some bruises and some, aches and pains and stuff like that. So, and again, as I said, I haven't told you this because I want any sympathy, so please don't comment with sympathy. I'm just telling you for context. So that bad thing happened, and it affected me, and it affected John, and it's going to affect us because they are family. Even if you might not get on so well with your mother-in-law sometimes, they are still family, and I love John, and that's his parents. So that is going to affect me, and I'm going to take that on and wear that on my, have that, like the burden, as it were, on my shoulders. So how then, I've got this burden, I've got this upset, I've got this worry, this thing's happened, kind of turned our life upside down. You start thinking, oh, what if it hadn't have gone the way it did happen? What if those people hadn't have found the car, because you wouldn't have seen the car from the road? All of those things, they go whizzing, 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 whizzing round your head. And that's not healthy. I think it's healthy to spend some time processing what happened, but not dwelling on it. I don't think it's healthy to dwell on a situation. I think it's very healthy to process a situation and to work everything out, but not to dwell on it. And that's where my journal comes in. And when I'm emotionally down, stressed, battered, upset, or need to really, really process something, I tend to write rather than art. And equally, it was a late night on Saturday because we were at the hospital till late, and one thing or another, and I couldn't journal that night because I was too tired. The next day I was I don't know, I was still in a state of recovering from what happened, and still trying to sort things out both with them and in my head. And so I still didn't feel ready to journal about the situation. So it took until a few days after that I felt ready to pull the journal out and write things and get it down. And some of you may say, well, is that been and gone then? You know, the moment's lost. But it hasn't for me. And I think days later, if you're still thinking about it, then you're potentially dwelling on it. So that's a really good time to journal. I mean, any time's a good time to journal, and it doesn't matter what you journal about, as long as you journal. So yeah, days later, I ended up journaling about what happened and about what I felt, what went on, and all of that kind of information. There's no photos, no decoration, no prettiness, just writing. And I did it in my faux dory because I'm still kind of experimenting with my faux dory, and it's just kind of like it's just writing. And I'm not going to share that with you. I'm not going to show that to you because it's very personal, some personal thoughts and feelings in there. But I just kind of wanted to make this video because I just kind of wanted to reassure you guys that if bad stuff is happening to you, you're not alone. There are other people in the world that's going through some bad stuff, and you can kind of help yourself through that by writing it down, and that it's still worth documenting because it will help you to either get over it or to park it so you don't have to dwell on it and think about it and then, you know, have it here all the time. And also for you to look back on in the future. I mean, one of the other reasons I wanted to document it is because, I mean, further down the line, there could be some health repercussions. You don't know. So I can go back and go, oh, okay, when was that day that they had the car accident? You know, say, for example, they're suffering with whiplash. I can go back and kind of look and see when the date was and all of that kind of stuff. So that, for me, is why it is useful to journal about bad stuff, crummy stuff, and what have you. So I think I've probably said all I wanted to say about the bad stuff. Again, I have not made this video for sympathy. It's just to kind of say that I do journal when bad stuff happens, and you know, maybe you would like to think about journaling when bad stuff happens as well. You know, obviously it's entirely up to you. And also to sort of say that I don't do any really, very rarely do I do any artwork when it comes to bad stuff. It's all purely written. So there we go. That's all I want to say on that. I'm going to do another video with the good stuff because good stuff happens too. And I feel that the good stuff deserves a video all on its own. So there's two videos this week, the bad stuff and the good stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Do you, what sort of way, how does your journaling change from good to bad? How do you process bad things in your journal? Do you just write too, or do you do artwork as well? So it'd be really interesting to know kind of how you process bad stuff and negative feelings. And I will see you over on the good side. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.